Hey, Trapnest here, welcome to my channel. Today I will be showing you how to use chords and chords progressions in a really simple and basic way that will make your song sound much better than if you just make your music without using any sort of chord progression. If you're a producer that knows next to nothing about chords and how to use it in music, well, this video is for you. But before we start, I will highly recommend you checking my video about basic music theory like scales and intervals, so you can understand a little bit better this video. And also that video is part of a music production course that I have available for completely free here on YouTube, so check it out whether it's right now or at the end of the video. Make sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell to get more educational content like this in the future. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so why you should even learn how to use chords in the first place? Nowadays there are software or MIDI packs that already give you pre-packed chord progressions, so you can just drag and drop and use it. If you just want to be a beat maker and create your own beats that rappers will buy from you and you won't need to adapt to the artist, then I think you could get away with something like the Unison or stuff like that. But if you are gonna produce music for artists from scratch according to an idea that they bring you, then yes, you will definitely need to know at least something about chord progressions. I have to explain what a chord is in the first place. So a chord happens when you play 3 or more notes at the same time. So for example, something like that will be the chord of C major. A chord will sound different depending on the distance between the notes. For example, if I play this, that sounds happy, right? But if I move my middle finger just a half step towards the black note, then all of a sudden it sounds more somber, more melancholic, right? So happy and melancholic. On this video I'll focus only on these two types of chords. There are a lot of different types of chords, but these two are probably the most used in Western popular music. So the easiest way to form a chord is to start on what's called the root note. That will be the first note, the bass note on the chord. In this case it will be C. And then you're gonna count 4 semitones. So in C we have 1 semitone, 2 semitones, 3 semitones, and 4 semitones. So we have our first and our second notes. So from the second note, you're gonna count 3 semitones. 1 semitone, 2 semitones, and 3 semitones. So basically the formula for the major is 4 plus 3. In my other video about music theory, I also talked about intervals, that is pretty much the distance between notes. So for example, if you have the first, then you will have the third note that will be the third, and the fifth note that will be the fifth. And also you can just play it like that. How about the minors? So for the minors, we are gonna switch around the formula. It's gonna be 3 plus 4. So we start on the root note, the first note, and then we count 1, 2, 3. And then we have to count 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that's how we have C minor. It will take you some time, but eventually you will memorize how to play each chord. The more you practice, the more natural it will come to you. But just as a suggestion, don't try to memorize every single chord that there is. We have a total of 12 possibilities here for the majors and 12 for the minors. Why 12? Because each key can have its own chord, including the black keys. So just by applying this formula, you already have 24 chords, 12 major and 12 minor. Again, for now, just pick one. In this case, since we're already practicing C, we're gonna take the C major, And then we're going to start building with what's called chord progressions. To put it simply, a chord progression is just a group of different chords that can give you a particular set of emotions. For example, the most typical chord progression that has been used for probably the last 50 or so years is an entire song can be built around just those 4 songs. And if you're thinking, oh, well, maybe this music is gonna sound way too simple if you use only 4 chords and no one is gonna be interested in it, well, you will be very, very wrong, because a lot of hits have been made with this exact same chord progression. Maybe not the same keys, starting on C major, but the same chord progression. The way you're gonna find chord progressions written is in Roman numerals. If it's a major chord, like C major, then you're gonna see a uppercase letter. If it's a minor chord, like C minor, then you're gonna see the lowercase number. If we go back to our really popular chord progression, it will look something like this. So the first indicates the root note where we are starting, in this case C major, and then we have a 5, which indicates the 5th of the scale. If you're not familiar with scales, then make sure to check my video, it's gonna help you a lot. We mentioned earlier that the 5th from C is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 G, so we jump to G. And then we have the 6th. Now notice that the 6th is on lowercase, so this is gonna be a minor chord, A minor chord. And then you go back to the 4th. All these numbers are in relation with the root note. For example, if we were to play starting on G as the root note, that will be the first chord. And then we jump to the 5th, which is not gonna be G anymore. G is now the first one. We jump 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to D. And then we go to the 6th, that will be this time E. And you notice how the 6th is again a minor chord. And then we go back to the 4th, that is a major chord. That is gonna be C major. So you see, it's all relative to the root note, but once you establish that, then you're gonna apply the same formula and pretty much you can use the same chord progression on any of the keys. Okay, so I've created a really quick beat, a sort of a lo-fi-ish hip-hop beat, just to show you how this sounds in practice. So I'm gonna play everything except for the harmony. So our melody is just this. And a really quick tip. Every time that you're gonna create something from scratch, start by the melody. Don't start with the chord progression, because chord progressions are meant to be a support for the melody. If you start with the support, then you might limit yourself with the possibilities on the melody. And also keep in mind that depending on the chord progression, your melody is gonna sound completely different. I have 4 chord progressions here that are really simple. So, you see, only with that you can already have an entire beat. And it sounds nice, I think. But let me show you how now the melody changes with the different progressions. And finally we have this longer chord progression. It's called the canon. this, you can already start building your own music and your own melodies. If you want to learn more about melodies, you're gonna have to learn more about keys and how to play different keys. Again, if you haven't checked my video, then the link is gonna be in the description. And well, that will be it for this video. I hope it was helpful to you, and remember, if you have any questions at all, feel free to ask in the comments and I'll help you as soon as possible. If you like this content, then please give it a like and subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell to know whenever I upload a new video, and follow me on social media for some extra content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.